Hey boys and girls, welcome to Chapter 9. Chapter 9, we'll be talking about statistics. And as you can see over here, these are all the lessons and all the things that we're going to be learning about. However, before we do those things, I want to go backwards and do two things that you should already know, but just review them a little bit. So it's part of the recall prior knowledge. So here we go. So the first one is finding the mean. Now, another word for finding the mean is finding the average. All right, so that's average. So here's what we're going to do to find the average. We're going to first add up all these numbers. So I'm going to do 38 plus 41 plus 26 plus 28 plus 40 plus 53. So I'm going to add up all those numbers. Now, you get to watch me type those numbers into the calculator. So add these numbers together. 26, now we have 28, now we have 40, and then we have 53. And that equals 226. So when I add them together, it equals 226. Now from there, I'm going to divide this 226 by the number 6. Now the reason why I'm going to divide it by 6 is because I have 6 numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 numbers in the data set, so I'm going to divide by 6. Now, if there was 7 numbers in the data set, I would divide by 7. And if there was 3 numbers in the data set, I would divide by 3. But since there's 6, let's divide by 6. So I'll take this back to the calculator, 226 divided by 6, and that's going to give me this number. So 37.666666666 forever. Now, the work that I'm going to have you guys do, if you notice here, it says round your answer to 2 decimal places. So if we're going to round this to 2 decimal places, so here we have 37.66. So I'm going to round it to the nearest hundredth place. That's right here. If I'm doing that, this is the hundredth place, this 6. I'm going to look to the number to the right, this 6, which is 5 or above. So it says the place value that I'm rounding it to has to move up 1. So this 6 becomes a 7. So the answer should be 37.67. All right, and that is our answer. So again, when we find the average, we add up all the numbers together, and then divide by the amount of numbers there are. Now, the next thing we got to do is the median. Now, the very first thing we have to do, oh, by the way, when we think of the word median, this word comes to mind, middle. So I'm looking for the number that's in the middle. Now, some of you might just automatically say that the number is 21. Well, the very first, that's may or may not be true, but the very first thing that we have to do is put all these numbers in order from least to greatest. So let's do that. So the smallest number here is 20. So let's put a 20 here. Let's cross that off. The next number would be 26. Okay, no, it wouldn't be. It'd be 21. Did that on purpose. The next one would be 26. Okay, the next one would be 27. And then the last one would be 38. So now, the first thing I did was put the numbers in order from least to greatest. Now I can find the number in the middle. Now the number in the middle here is 26. So the median in this case is 26. Now something I want to make sure you see here is that I have in this data set, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Now, so this 5 is an odd number. When I have an odd amount of numbers in the data set, it's a little bit easier because I have a true number in the middle. All right, and it's easier to pick like, hey, this is the number in the middle, and it's easy to see, well, there's 2 numbers on that side, 2 numbers on that side, so this must be the number in the middle. Now, when you have another, let's say you have another data set. Now, in this data set, I don't have an odd amount of numbers. I have an even amount of numbers, and that's going to change what we do just a little tiny bit. So, again, the first thing that we got to do is we got to put these numbers in order from least to greatest. So the smallest number here is 19. So let's cross this off the list. Then we have a 20. Okay, now we have a 21. All right, now we have a 24. Also, we have two 24s. We have a 24 here. You know, I don't like that. Let's pretend this number is not a 24. Let's pretend this is a 27. Yeah, yeah. All right, so let's pretend that was edited out. So I have a 24. Now the next number here I have is a 27. So the next number we have is a 28. Then we have a 30. And then we have a 37. Okay, so I always like to just count, like if I have 8 numbers here, just count these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just to make sure you have them all written down. Now again, there's no true number in the middle, right? So what we got to do is we got to find the two numbers that are in the middle. So in this case, the two numbers that are in the middle are 24 and 27. So these numbers are in the middle. So what I have to do with those two numbers is I have to find the average of them. So let's do 24 plus 27. So 24 plus 27 is going to give us 51. Okay, so 24 plus 27 is 51. And then again, to find the average of these two numbers, I now divide this by 2, and therefore that gives me 26.5. So the median of this data set is 26.5. Okay, now sometimes you can kind of just look and say, hey, look, there's a 24 and a 27 there. What number is right in the middle of that? Sometimes it's easier to see, but sometimes it's not. So the one easy way to do is just take those two numbers that are in the middle, add them together, divide by 2, and you're all set. Okay, oh my goodness. Did that on purpose, by the way. This is actually 25. 25.5. Did it on purpose. That was I planned to do that. And I'm hoping that a bunch of you guys were yelling at the screen saying, no, 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 you made a mistake, you made a mistake. I made that mistake on purpose. So now listen, for your homework, for your work today, this part you don't have to really do. All thing you have to do is you can use a calculator. You don't even have to write anything down. Add the numbers together, divide by how many numbers there are, and round it to 2 decimal places. Okay? Now, for these ones, for the median, the only work you have to show me is this. Okay? You have to take the original data set, write them down, and then show me that you put them in order from least to greatest. Because if you try to do it in your head, let me kind of mentally 20s first, then 20, you're going to make some mistakes, especially if you have more numbers. So you have 8 numbers in this one. You might have a data set that's got 15 numbers or 18 numbers. So it becomes more difficult the more numbers you have. So I just want you guys to be in the habit of just always, hey, I'm just going to write them down, put them in order from least to greatest, and that's that. Okay? So to your work, you're doing numbers 1 to 5 here, finding the average. And then on the next page, again, you're doing 6 to 10, which is just finding the median. But again, I want these numbers written out. So when you guys submit your homework, it's going to be, the answers are going to be on a Google Sheet, and you need to attach a picture of the work for numbers 6 to 10, showing that you wrote these down, and then put them in order from least to greatest. And that's it for today.